I mean, I would like to show a video where it's really challenging to do a surgery, and that's only possible when you have MIs. This is a case where the patient has only one eye, and the other eye is blind because of glaucoma. He has multiple attacks of angle closure. Angle is very small. You can see two PIs have been done here, and there is hardly any space in the anterior chamber. There's hardly any space in the anterior chamber. I've stained the capsule, though the transillumination is good with the microscope. There are synechae in that area. I'm going to separate the synechae, and every time I'll have to reform the chamber, as you can see here. That's a lignocaine being done under topical. I need to infuse lignocaine very little under the iris, but most of it is in front of the iris. And I'm trying stretch pupilloplasty. The pupil is so rigid. He has been using 3 anti-glaucoma medicines for decades together. The pupil is very rigid. It refuses to dilate. I didn't want, being a one-eye person, I didn't want it to traumatize the iris by sphincterotomies in this particular patient. Tunnel floor entry technique, where cystotome I'm taking through the limbus. It is not going through the anterior, through the tunnel. AC is filled. It's only about 2 millimeters deep. It's refusing to deepen further beyond this. And he's got very small field. And I'm also worried about high pressure inside the eye, which can damage the further remaining ganglion cells. The other eye is blind, I said. I could do a good rhexis because of the blue staining within the under the iris, and I noticed that it's of adequate size. And that is a single tunnel that I'm making for this eye because I didn't want it to make any side ports. And inside portion of it is slightly enlarged. This is a trapezoid incision. This will minimize the damage to cornea when you are removing the lens. Hydrodissection, you should be very careful that you are not infusing in front of the capsular bag. It should be in the capsular bag. Otherwise, there will be transonular injection with further rise of intraocular pressure. Even a small drop goes inside the eye. As you can see, and in this case, zonules will be very, very weak. And I am very careful that I am not damaging zonules any further beyond what it is there because of long-standing glaucoma. I should be very careful in removing it, otherwise zonular dehiscence will occur for sure. And I am prolapsing the nucleus into the anterior chamber. It's, as you can see here, it's possible to do it in this particular technique by bimanual rotation. The nucleus is very hard. He has waited for almost 10 years to get the surgery done. He never came back for surgery in spite of repeated advice. And I'm bisecting it with the help of a cystotome. And cystotome is again continuously injecting visco so that there's absolutely no damage to the endothelium. This is brought to the center. I'll go a little fast to save time. And that also comes out of this. Now, cortical aspiration is to be very balanced. There is a tendency for the iris prolapse, as you can see here. Iris is tumulus throughout, and I'll have to prevent the iris prolapse, but yet aspirate the entire cortex to prevent postoperative inflammation. And that's possible by infusion, controlled infusion and controlled aspiration by Simcoe cannula, which is attached to a silicone bulb. By visual guidance, I know exactly how much to infuse. If it's a continuous infusion, the chance for iris prolapse will be much more. I'm preventing iris prolapse, which never occurred. You can see the iris atrophic patches here, and these are patches where it was synechiate, which I released in the initial part of the surgery. And I have to ensure that everything of cortex is removed, as you can see there. And next step will be to deepen the chamber and put the intraocular lens inside the capsular bag. That's a slit cartridge technique. And what it does is, it's in SICS, it's possible to handle very challenging cases like this without using the iris hooks or pupil dilatory devices. I could manage a very hard cataract. I could retain a rhexis there, and I could prevent the complications. With the low pressure, low infusion, low vacuum technique, I'm not further damaging very small amount of visual fields he has, and all are possible. We thought of doing a combined glaucoma surgery, but as the pressures were well under control with the medications, we would like to continue using medication post-operatively instead of risking glaucoma, hypotonia or hypertonia post-operatively. So we decided to do only the cataract surgery. So that's my presentation. And this, I would like to humbly request that everyone has to learn SICS for handling such cases safely. One eye patient, this was done yesterday. Today I saw the patient. Patient has got tunnel vision, but is so happy that he has started seeing the world again. Thank you.